Assalamu alaikum and happy Hari Raya. My name is Abu Bakr Ahmed Osman. My mother number is GS 55939. First of all, I would like to present one of the questions in assignment, and I would like to try to present differently as I wrote in my assignment. This is question 2 of my assignment, and it's talking about moisture movement is a factor that affects creep and shrinkage. So illustrate, elaborate, figure out, tell how this moisture movement affect creep and shrinkage and the difference between them. Okay, first of all, we will understand moisture movement, second how it affects, and finally what is the difference between them in terms of moisture movement. Okay, moisture movement. Moisture movement is one of factors that affect, and we already know that. But in a dry shrinkage, water evaporates. Unlike with creep also water evaporates. So, what the mechanism is and how water evaporates? The mechanism is that water evaporates is through liquid and water vapor, which we see in this picture. The mechanism is water vapor, which we see in here through vapor, and liquid. Okay. Then we know the mechanism is which creep and shrinkage happens a factor of moisture movement. This is a shrinkage, how concrete shrinks when water evaporates. It shrinks like that. This is a first stage when water is full, and it shrinks when water is moved. Why water is moving? Because of relative humidity. The outside temp humidity is lower than the inside humidity, which causes the water to evaporate. Okay, then we will recall a little bit about the shrinkage and how can be categorized. Shrinkage is a volumetric change, means decrease of volume especially, and we can categorize it into in four categories: plastic shrinkage, dry shrinkage, other changes shrinkage, and carbonate shrinkage. But we will talk about dry shrinkage, which is the time which moisture movement is affected. And as we see in this picture, dry shrinkage happens in time with years. So we can call it is time dependent and takes years or months, depending on relative humidity change. Likewise, creepy. Creepy can be categorized into two types: basic creep and dry creep. Basic creep is basic creep. We will figure out what basic creep is and what dry creep. So, basic creep is deformation, which can be time dependent but under a constant load, while creepy and dry shrinkage is time deformation but with an include of moisture removal due to lack of thermodynamic equilibrium with the environment. This picture shows the stages that creep undergoes. So dry creep, we just then deeply talking about dry creep, which is a result of a cracking occur at low RH. It is now we can see that the difference between shrinkage and also creepy through this thing. We see like that. We see that in this figure, the result of micro cracking occurs at low temperature, which says that in creepy, dry creep, dry creep, the result of micro cracking occurs at low hertz, and part deformation actually dry creep. It happens. It happens. Pores. Water shall be empty the pores, while shrinkage is a volumetric change caused by vibration, as we see in the last picture. So this the difference of creep and shrinkage. This is not the difference between based on the moisture movement, but this is another kind of difference. And also it's a channel differences of a creep and shrinkage, which also including the difference of moisture. Creep is dependent on stress and loading condition, while shrinkage is not dependent on load criteria. Creep goes and gradual deformation. As in moisture, when we're talking about is a micro cracking. That crack is caused deformation. Deformation goes under with a dependent time. Shrinkage is volumetric change, but it's time dependent also, but it's volume change. Why is time dependent? Because at time water evaporates. Creep is occur in water movement in a shallow hydration shell, while shrinkage occurs in evaporation of water. Shrinkage first starts in a concrete. When fresh concrete starts to put in the formwork. Creep also starts when formwork is removed. Because why? The self-weight and the weight life load if put in the beam or slab causes the creep. Thank you. That's all.